Hey guys, this is my second video in the last little while. I put my comic haul video up previously. This what I'm about to show this time was actually part of that haul, but for some reason YouTube wouldn't let me upload the video. It was, I don't know, too long or something. But anyway, while we were out and about this past weekend, my wife and I went on a little outing. We were able to stop by some different places, and we found this store that deals in closeout items and different things, and was able to pick up a few graphic novels and trade paperbacks on the cheap. All of these I'm about to show were all either $1, $2, and I think there was one hardcover that I paid $3 for. Anyway, picked up Batman Arkham Knight Volume 1. For all you guys who play video games out there, as you can probably guess, this is based on a video game. Also got Volume 2, which is a hardcover. And to complete it, Volume 3. These were originally $16.99, and I think the hardcover was like, I don't know, $24.99, something like that. Got all these for $1. Picked up this one from Wildstorm. Make sure, yeah, Wildstorm, called The Program. This is a comic or story that was set in 1991 after the Cold War was over, and this is there were some rogue elements in the Russian government who weren't willing to, well, in their eyes, concede defeat, so they enacted this super secret plan to weaponize human beings to defeat the United States, and this is what that's about. It's a pretty cool story from what I can tell. Picked up Avengers Disassembled. This collects Avengers number 500 through 502. It's got really good artwork. It was written by a gentleman who wrote it, Brian Michael Bendis, David Finch artwork. Just really cool story, and it's good to have all those issues under one cover, so you can read the whole story at one time. Found this one. This one looked really interesting. It's called Seven Psychopaths from Boom Studios. It's set during World War II, and what it's about is the United States government, along with the other allies, are looking to assassinate Hitler. So what they do is they find these 7 people who are willing to more or less volunteer for a suicide mission, and they send them in to try and assassinate Hitler. Pretty cool story. From what I can tell, like I said, I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. It's good. Looks to be a really good story. This is the one I paid $3 for. This is Original Sin. This was hardcover. This book was originally $70, so when I saw it for $3, I really didn't have too much of a problem paying that. The story might not be all that great. I've heard mixed reviews on this. I already know the question that's asked on the cover, who shot the Watcher. I already know the answer to that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It still looks to be a fun read, so picked it up. My wife found this one. Only copy they had, Betrayal of the Planet of the Apes. I am a big Planet of the Apes fan. Love all things Planet of the Apes, especially anything related to the first movie, put out in the late 60s with Charlton Heston. And this one follows right along with that, so really happy to pick that up. This one I think might have been 50 cents. This was Desperados Epidemic. This combines, as you can guess, the cowboy genre with a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft and Hellboy and some other things, but it looked to be pretty cool, so picked it up 50 cents. Got Avengers, Age of Ultron Prelude. This reprints all of the classic stories from the 60s and 70s, some from the 80s, maybe from the 90s, that had to do with Ultron. And I'm an Ultron fan, so I couldn't resist that one for a couple of bucks. Picked up Irredeemable, volume number 9. I like this series from Boom Studios. It's really cool. It was cheap, and I've got a couple other volumes that I picked up here and there on the cheap, so picked that one up to give me a little more of the story. Picked up Justice Society, Thy Kingdom Come Part 2. I've got these original issues, but anyway, I picked this one up simply so I could read them without read the story without having to pull my originals out of my boxes. It's a little more convenient, so yeah, I picked that up just out of convenience. Like if I can, I'm gonna try to get part 1 and part 3 and complete it so I can read the whole thing. Now, Necessary Evils, supervillains of the DC Comics. This is kind of like, if you're familiar with the old Secret Origins series that came out in the 1980s and early 90s. They have the origin of the different villains in here, and they have a little story that kind of backs up the origin, that gives you a little idea as to the flavor of the villain and what they're all about. Found this one too. Got Batman Arkham Knight Genesis, which purports to tell the origin of the Gotham Knight. This one I think was also 50 cents, so I picked it up just for the heck of it, just to see. My son is a big video game player, so he already knows who the Arkham Knight is, and he kind of told me who it is too. But anyway, we'll see. I'd be interested. For 50 cents, I didn't lose very much. These last 3 are ones that I was really happy to get. This is Deathlock the Demolisher, the complete collection. This collects all of the original Deathlock stories from Amazing Adventures in the mid-70s. It's a pretty thick book. And like I said, it collects all of those, and these were the stories that I was introduced to Deathlock with. I remember buying an issue or 2 of this off the stands when I was a little fella, and just seeing these was kind of a nostalgic experience for me. Those issues that I bought off the stands are long gone. Probably read them to death, so I was very happy to find this one to be able to read these stories again. Now, Mad's Original Idiots Will Elder. They put out 3 volumes of this back in the mid-2000s. It was Wally Wood, Will Elder, and Jack Davis. I've got the other 2, so this was the last one that I needed. Plus, I like the old Mad comics from the early 50s, the stuff that they did, and I was really happy to pick that one up. And lastly, that Showcase presents Legion of Superheroes. This is volume 1, so this reprints all of the very first adventures with the Legion of Superheroes and Superboy from Adventure Comics in the late 50s, early 60s. I mean, they're printed in black and white. I mean, those of you who read comics, know that they're not in color or anything, but still, it's just really cool to have all of these in one book and be able to, read them, because as you know, some of those early Legion issues are pretty pricey. So I was very happy to pick that up. Anyway, thanks guys for sticking with me. Hope you saw something in here that maybe sparked an interest. I'm all for a good deal. So if I didn't say it in the last video, and I'm pretty sure I didn't, support your local comic shop. These people don't make a whole lot of money doing this, and you know, if we don't support them, they're going to go away. And when they go away, it's going to make it harder for us to find these cool back issues on the cheap, to you know, pick up these things that we love that we just want to spend a whole lot of money for. Sometimes we just don't have a whole lot of money to spend. But support your local comic shop. I mean, even if you don't, you know, buy, but you know, maybe $10 a month from them, just something, and encourage your friends to do the same too. Anyway, again, thanks for sticking with me. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.